Okay, right. Ball in, as always. Right. Anywho, okay. Did we get a deal on this? Well, is it a notebook? Is it a laptop? Is it more than that? Well, this is interesting. Okay. Yeah, I definitely got a deal. And we're going to go into the reasons why. Let me just get in the way of the camera. Right. First of all, I got rid of an Acer R3, an Aspire R3. You can see the links in the description bar below about that, or you can just Google it. Right, it was 4 gig RAM, 32 gig SSD, and it's one of these sort of yoga things that fold over, and you can use it as a tablet or whatever. I paid 25 quid for it and sold it today for, I think it was 82 quid I got for that in the end, which was remarkable. Right. This, however, I paid 40 quid for it. Right. And this one is a massive shout out to all of the guys over at Cashies, and particularly Dave. So it was £40 for this machine. Okay, and this is the Dell Latitude E7440. Okay, that's what we're going to be looking at today, whether or not we got the deal we want. And I think we did. Okay, so anyhow, we've covered the fact that we got rid of an Acer Aspire sort of R3. Now, I was expecting £56 off of that. Actually, I ended up with 82 quid, probably because it had the slightly better processor and the better RAM. And we like a good RAM, if you know what I mean, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes when it comes to RAM, you have to have a nice big stick. But that's not the reason for the system call. But more RAM. Thank you, ma'am. That's what we like. Anywho, let's move on. So, apparently this thing has, or it did have, some sort of screen fault. Okay. And they couldn't, Cashies factory reset it. I was a little bit concerned because of these sort of what looks like pellet marks. Maybe some vindictive person tried to stabby. Who knows? And there is the matter of the Dell logo. But again, that's not the reason why we're here, necessarily. Talking of celery, Microsoft Windows is indeed to computers what a colander is to food. Yep, the only good thing that it's for is drainage, and it's full of holes. Thought I'd let you know that one. A bit of a dad joke there. But we're going to have a look at this machine, the Latitude E7440. Okay. And there's another reason why I needed this, actually. And it might not necessarily be up for sale. Not necessarily. I don't like celery either. Comes down to this guy in the background. This has had problems. It's got some sort of intermittent screen fault in itself, meaning it has to warm up. And sometimes that goes completely blank. but that's not the reason for the system call. I'll probably go into that with an update at the end of it, which will show it. Right, cool. Anywho, so what did we get for... It's just been out the bag for £40. As you can see that, that's all I ended up paying for it. So I got rid of the R3, which I didn't like. Let me just get a drink. Got rid of that one and ended up with a lot more than what I expected. Ended up with 82 quid back, which was a bit more than I actually sort of expected. Right. So let's go over this. And actually, I still ended up with about 35 quid after all of my shenanigans. So this is probably a money maker anywho. But 40 quid for this is, I think, an absolute steal. Well, it's not, because the top end of that is aluminium, I do believe. Right, ignoring the whole dents in the back, but yeah, alright, it's still good. We're going to have this look over, and the question is it suitable for what we want? Right. Am I keeping this or am I getting rid of it? Now, the thing is, on that note, I've already sorted out the screen issue. I know exactly what it was, and it was software. I've got things that can deal with that, because I was told this was a screen issue. It wouldn't turn on. Now, I've got ways of dealing with that, and deal with it I did. Right. So, that being said, I could probably take care of this issue and sell this now. Well, if it's an i5, which it is, a 4th gen i5 with 8 gig of RAM and a 256 gig hard drive in it, which is solid state, on Win 10, well, I paid 40 for it. I could get rid of that in C-grade condition if I left those dents in there, and probably still end up with 120. Like we said, it's worth noting that I got rid of an R3 for this, and that R3 I only paid, I think it was about 25 or 35 quid for it. I can get rid of this for probably in the region of about 120 quid at least. I paid 40, so yeah, I'm coins up all the way, really. But again, this isn't the reason why you're here. This isn't the reason for the system call. We want to see whether or not I indeed am ramming the whole thing home, and we like, as we keep saying, a good stick. Nothing wrong with some solid RAM. This is desktop RAM. This isn't applicable here, but I'm using this as an analogy. Put that one in your memory. But you'll love it. So did we get a good deal? And, well, this is what we're here to talk about, isn't it? Right. First of all, we need to look at what we've got. Right. Is that scratch on the screen? that might come out, but I think the screen is fine. It's a little grubby, and the power brick does indeed work. Trust me, I check these things as well, so it even came with the power brick. Now, let's flip this thing over, and we're going to have a look at some very interesting things. You might say this is actually quite boring. When it isn't, because of this guy here and this serial socket. Okay, now normally with these can be used in a variety of ways. Right? It can be used as a serial adapter, so if you have older legacy devices such as old mice and printers, you can indeed drop it onto a separate sort of frame and then use older things. However, these mounts also work with servers. Here's a fun fact for you. Right. When you see those inputs on the bottom side, it means that you can clip this thing in with the latching mechanism on the back, and you can fold the screen actually over 180 degrees and push this into a rack mount configuration. So actually, yes, you can use these in rack mount servers. And if you look at many pictures on YouTube, you will, I mean not on YouTube, sorry, on Google, you can actually see where people, and indeed many servers, actually have what looks like a laptop sat there near a rack mount configuration. That's because of these. And indeed, on some of these you can actually remove the screen entirely and just use the unit. Interestingly enough, on these variants, and it's normally only on business machines that you see this, but you can enable something called RAID mode, which is redundant array of independent drives or devices. So if you did want to use this on a server, you indeed can. Just drop it into its frame, lock it down, fold the screen back, and now you can actually use this as a control mechanism for that server, or at least to interface. So from that perspective, this is a win. It's an absolute win. The background, my G700 doesn't have that, and it's too big and bulky. This is also 8 gig. The one in the background is also 8 GB in terms of its rammy, just to ramificate this home. i5. This one is i5 4th gen, I do believe, with 256 as internal storage. Now the hard drive on this one, now it's interesting because that's solid state. I know this because when I power it up, what you don't hear is that's a very good impersonation of a hard drive. Mechanical drives make that noise because they spin up, and that you hear is actually the armature and the hand moving across the platters to send and receive information. Okay, that's why you hear that noise. This doesn't do that. Alright. So, 8 gig, solid state, I'm strongly suspecting, in reasonable condition apart from a few bullet marks in the top. For 40 quid, I think we might have a result here. I actually think we do, but there is something else. And the alert among you will see that I have 3 other laptops here. One of those is going to be a candidate for this. Now, I want to take this from 8 gig potentially to 16 gig. Now that's interesting. Okay, now the G700 in the background was my usual running machine, but unfortunately it has this intermittent problem, but we're here to focus on the Dell. And I've always been on the fence about these guys. Okay, but it might be a budget hacker's choice. Question is, can I upgrade this to 16 gig with already what I have? Let me get rid of this, and we're going to look at this a little bit further, I reckon. And yeah, it might be a long-winded video, but it'll give you some insight. I think I've got a deal. I think so. An absolute bargain, even just the parts. Let me just get rid of this. 1 minute. Right, so we're back. Okay, let's look at this a little bit more. Okay, what I want in terms of a hacker's laptop is something that's easy to get into, that requires minimal effort in case I need to make hardware changes. So let's flip the guy over. And already we actually have a win, because the battery on this comes out really easily. Okay, this thing's going to flap about again as per usual. Just fix the camera. So the battery on this is actually really easy to remove. There's this connection here, and then we slide that over and lift the battery out. Just the battery alone is probably going to be about 20 or 30 quid. It's tatty on the inside. Okay, now with this, it seems awkward to get into, but from my understanding of this, it doesn't seem to be. What I can do, if I can find my toolkit, just a second. Take out a screwdriver with a sort of Phillips attachment, which is a PH1. Now, there are a couple of screws missing here, but I'm not too worried about that. Probably going to keep this myself. There's one fastener here, and there's another one on this far side, which I'm now going to remove. Okay. And I have, there's the fastener. I'll just simply drop that here, and you'll see one is, and the other one is. Now, unbelievably, this is so easy. This bottom plate here slides back just a hair. Literally, if you see it again, watch this. It's, push this back in and drop it there, and then it lifts out. That's it. And it's that sort of aluminium or steel tin plate. We'll set that off there so it doesn't get busted or broken. And this is what we really love. Okay. There's our 8 gig memory slot for our RAM. We have our, well, what looks like 2 wireless cards here. One of them is probably for Bluetooth, I would have thought, which would be our Sierra sort of Air Prime, I'm assuming, which may be Linux compatible for our hack rig. Then we have in here what looks like an Intel, well, it's definitely an Intel chipset. I can't really read that actually. Oh goodness, my eyesight's not very good. I'll put it in the description bar below anyhow. But we have our two internal cards. Now, I absolutely did get a deal because it does indeed have Transcend, what looks like 250 gig, yeah, 256 gig of onboard SSD storage, which we can remove the whole thing, and even if we wanted to, bear with me, where did I put it? If I wanted to, I could get rid of that entirely and fit a, well, SATA drive would be that way. But I'm going to leave that as standard, at least in there. Cool thing is, I have an an additional RAM slot. That is what we like, a good old RAM. Now, the RAM in this case is DDR3L that I'm looking for. Alright. I think we better get looking. Not going to find it in this. Right, do I have any in here? Nope, none in there. Let's put that cover back on. No RAM in there. No more ramming in there. Do we have any in here? No, that's 2 gig. That's 10600. Nope, that's not good enough. We can do better, because we're looking for better than that, and it wouldn't work anyway. Oh gosh, what have I done here? These are all my sort of spares, and I was waiting for this moment, to be honest with you. Sorry. Aha. I think we've got one. I think we might have. I think we do. Ah, there we go. Looks good. Does look good. Does it fit? Does it indeed fit? That's our magic bit. Okay. There's our magic stick of RAM. Because we like a good RAM, as we said. Right, 8 gig. Yeah. It's PC3L 12800. Hopefully this fits. Hopefully so. There's only one way to find out. This looks good. It looks good, people. It does look very good. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. If this works, mate. If this works. This is absolutely legendary. Right, now the colours are different. The original RAM in there is from Samsung. Okay. But again, everything is really easy to get into. And from a hacker's perspective, that's important. Right, now we just need to bang on our cover plate. Again, really easy to do. It just slides back. Have I accidentally got rid of that screw? I shouldn't have. I have. got rid of the screwdriver, conveniently enough. I'm probably going to leave that out for now, just in case that doesn't work. I'm going to drop the battery back in, like so. And we're going to power it up and see what we get. I'm going to be gutted if this don't work. And keep spamming the F2 button, because there's F2 on here. And we have fixed that screen problem, so it seems. Sweet. Right, cool. What do we get? Alert, the amount of system memory has changed. To continue, press F1. To change, F2. To run onboard diagnostics, F5. Well, I will do that later. I'm going to press F1 for now. There we are. So it has gone in. Now let's see on our system information. Now I might have to move this because there's service tags on here quickly. I don't want you seeing that. Oh, boy, oh boy, oh boy. It's worked. It's worked. Excellent. I am loving this. There it is. There it is. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. I think that has actually worked. I think it has. I think it has. Can I? Ooh. There you go. This bad boy is now 16 gig on there. Haha. Loving it. So for 40 quid, mate, I think that's a result. All I'm going to do is just chuck this back on here. The other one, so we don't lose any parts. Because I will come back to these later. That netbook, notebook, laptop, whatever you call it, is now got 16 gig RAM on it. Thank you very much indeed for what should have only cost me, a lot more than that. So it's 40 quid I essentially paid. Ching ching. Right, cool. Let's go and have some fun with boot sequences then, shall we? Let's have a bit of a play. Oh, we gave it a good bit of stick. We love a good stick. There we are, see. 16384 meg RAM, which is 16 gig now, this one. I'm loving this. I'm loving it. Dual channel that. DIM A 8192, DIM B 8192. And anybody who doesn't agree with that is definitely a little bit dim. 1 minute. I think we're going to have some fun. Definitely. Let's see how quickly this thing will get Kali Linux on there. Because Linux is God. That's the reason why we have the dragon. Yes. We are on to a win. Oh, and another thing. The general. Let me go into general. Is it in general or settings? It's settings. It's somewhere. Performance. Oh, God. It's crashed. That's not very good, is it? Where was the battery on it? Power management. Maybe there. Right. That's interesting. Where's the information about the battery? General? Ah, there we go. There we go. And the house is good, baby. The house is good. Just making sure that you can't see anything you shouldn't, but the battery house is good. See? I think that's well worth 40 quid of anyone's money. Well, now it's 16 gig RAM in there. Yeah, with an i5 4th gen. With the hookup capabilities on there, with USB 3, it's got certainly 3 USBs on there. LAN port, what looks like some sort of firewire or hot fire capability, and HDMI. I think we've got a win. I think we have, and we can get that screw put back in there at some point. Right, cool. What I need to now do is have a little tamper. I think we need to have a little tamper. I'm going to mess around now with boot settings. Where are we? I need to have a play about. Where are we? Where's our boot settings? Oh shit. No, I didn't mean to boot the camera. 1 minute. Okay, cool. So we're back. Now, we want to play with boot settings. Well, in order to reboot, you could pick up your boots and put them on again. But, well, that's not really applicable. Luckily on this system, it's actually quite easy to go into that. Go into settings and go down to boot sequence. Right. Now, you can just simply say, over on the right hand side here, you can click that, and I think you can swap these around. There you go, I've just done it. USB storage. There you go. So now I think this becomes a lot easier now, so I can take my version of Linux and just launch this straight into any one of the ports I want, like so. I'm going to leave it as legacy for now, and it's not touchscreen by the way, but I don't really care. I have 16 gig of RAM. Yeah, we like that. And I'm going to hit apply. Yeah, BIOS is interesting. We might have a little look at that at some point. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens here if I actually got what I want. I will be so stoked if I have. If this actually does indeed do it. Oh, it looks good. We're getting rid of Windows. We are getting rid of wanky Windows. We don't like Windows. Go graphical install. Let's see if this actually does anything. Have a bunch of invalid arguments at the moment, but we don't care about that. Let's give this a go. It's doing something. English, UK, British keyboard, because obviously it has the sort of cutout enter key there. Is this going to work? That's loading very quickly. That's actually loading phenomenally quickly. Oh, this is quick. It's quicker than what the G700 has done. Might have to run a time off on this one, and we'll do a shootout at some point. I'm struggling with the network hardware, but that's gone quickly. This is fast, actually. This is actually... Oh, it's picked up the Wi-Fi card. That's good. Configure that. And I can hit this one and go here. Say hacker. Ooh, dear. Keyboard's got problems. Go on. Oh, God. Yeah, that has got problems. Go on. Hit enter. So the keyboard will need to be dealt with. It's done that quickly. Oh, this is actually pretty good. I'm liking this. This is very fast. Actually, we can leave the domain now. Full name for the new user. I think we're going to call it sort of malwares. Yes, because, well, actually no, we're going to get rid of that and call it hacker. Why not? Hacker. Good enough, enter that. Whatever. I will be changing the password on this, by the way. Detects the disks. Again, this is actually really easy. So I'm going to go guided on this one. 256 gig. Solid state as well. How good is this one? Yeah, this is not for sale now. This is mine. Right. So what we're doing, we're rechanging this. So we're having it as an extension 4. We have a 1 GB swap file on it. It's coming up as SCSI, but that's fine. Links, we'll do that. Go down to yes. Hit enter. Look how quickly that formats though. This is why you want SSD. So much quicker than the old. So much quicker. 16 gig on this one, can you believe it? Yeah, that's good RAM. We like a good RAM. We do like a good RAM. Oh boy. I think I got a right good deal on this for 40 quid, you know. Now it has to install the base system. Oh my God, that's quick. Normally, this actually takes, at this stage, about 10 or 15 minutes on the G700 just to get there. This is flying through it. This is an absolute fly through. Oh my God. Holy crap, that's quick for a Dell as well. I'm in love. I think it is love. Do you know what? I think we might have to sing this one out with a full video. It's not even edited and paused, this one. Not really. If this completes it, this is a keeper. It's definitely so. 16 gig on this one. For 40 quid. Mate, you can't beat that. To get Carly on that quickly, look at this. Look how quick that's running. Dude, that is phenomenal. Watch this. Alright, so I'm going to put all my selections on it. You just watch this. This is absolutely nuts. Look at the time on it. And it ain't even struggling. Not even a struggle. Not even a struggle. I think what we're going to do is watch this through. And what a good call that was. Dave, mate, Ross, all of you at Cashews, you're a legend. This is going to make my hack runs much easier. Just to get to this point, it saved me already about half an hour. I'd be pissed if it actually cuts out, but let's watch it. I will be pissed if this actually stops. That is phenomenal, though. For a Dell, to be honest with you, that is quick. Yeah, this ain't being sold. Not at all. It's worth noting that normally it would take on the select and install where the mouse is on here. At that point, on the Lenovo, on the G700, you're probably looking just to get to that point. Again, another 15-20 minutes. And on the Aces, it don't like it. This is absolutely phenomenal. It's flying it because this is still only a 41-minute video. So while this is doing this, alright, and bearing in mind it is on battery power, fully charged, and it's not offensively hot on 16 gig. Mate, if this does what I want it to do as a hacker's machine, yeah, why not? It's not the prettiest, and it is a Dell. Does have the fingerprint reader, but I can also hook it up to use my implant. Has NFC on there, I think, but if not, I can always attach that, or there's still room in there to have that built. Mate, that's cut things down massively. Just already on the reinstall time. It's huge. And I also don't have to start sacrificing SATA drives. It's all there. Parts for it are relatively easy and cheap to get. It's standard Dell charging outputs as well. They're pretty much universal. Unlike the Lenovo, which are those awkward square or rectangle things. If we look at that, it's those. So again, this becomes more of an easier option. I'm liking this like a lot, actually, and I don't often say that about Dell. I actually legitimately don't. Right. And this is the Latitude E7440. It seems so far to be a good machine. Wow. This is quite something, isn't it? For 40 quid. I don't really think you get a better deal than that. And then also having additional parts on standby that are compatible with this. 16 gig on here now. Now a lot of people, just on this note, will say, but the graphics aren't brilliant. And I get that compared to Lenovo on the G700, which that guy has the Nvidia graphics on this. Don't know what's in here. It could just be a standard generic Intel chipset. But again, this isn't really designed for gaming, it's designed for business use. And I've probably just taken it that one step further. Probably. If I want to get around the graphics problem, I can show you an easy way around that if you just give me a minute. And it's very easy to do, actually. There are things on the open market where you can take external graphics cards and drop them into USB docks and then power them. So that is another option. And yeah, that's an old card. I pulled that out of a machine that got junked. You never get rid of your old cards. Bitcoin miners know that as well. But again, if you were doing anything to do with password cracking and anything like that, then yes, GPUs are useful. I don't need GPUs because I have full servers for that. Okay, the rack mount servers I have, more than capable for that. And again, I can convert old Bitcoin mining rigs into password crackers if I want that. This is more for the pen testing side of it and for dealing with Jav's phone. Okay, that's now going to deal with this. I was waiting for the right option in that way. And it comes back to Dave again, you absolute legend, or legend as we call it. But again, back on this one, look how quickly it's running. Still a long video though, it might well run into an hour, but I think we're doing alright. And for 40 quid, mate, I don't really think you can beat that. You'd be hard pushed. You'd be hard pushed for that. Alright, if this didn't work, let's talk about the prospective reclaim cost on it. Well, the 256 SSD, second hand, I could probably sell that for about 20 or 30 quid. If I was going to break this up. The battery's good, so that's another 20 quid. The charger's good, so that's another 10 or 15 quid. The screen's good, so there's easily another 50 quid on that one. But then there's the hassle of packaging it and insuring it. You'll see the point. Keyboard on this isn't exactly desirable, but it's workable. There's another 10 quid on it. And then there's all the rest of the other components, such as the sort of body work itself and the underside of it. And the underneath of it is actually really pristine. Even the plastic bezel themselves, even these bits around here can still command certainly 10 to 15 pounds. So for the fact that I was able to pick this up for that cheap, I think was a result. I think. But then again, maybe not. We don't know what else is going to erupt. I still think it's a great result. The caveat though, and there is this caveat, it's Dell. And I've always been on the fence with them about it. And I was talking to Dave when he said, you know, come over here, I've got a right deal for you. It's just Dell though, isn't it? And I go back to certainly the Windows XP days on this one, and Dell were always, yeah, they were a touchy one. Right. I've encountered many of those machines, and certainly with the early version of the Inspirons, and again, like the really early versions of the Latitudes. And I saw glued in components. I was always just that bit funny about them. But, it's nice to see that they have, at least nowadays, sorted out a lot of these gripes. And in that one, there was Samsung RAM originally. Whether that's value RAM, I don't know. I've not looked at that yet. But it might well be worth us having a revisit on this one at some point. On that note. And then doing a face-off. So exact carbon copy installs against the G700. And even probably against the Nitro 5. And probably a couple of other laptops as well. And see which wins out. But this actually it's gone a lot further than what the Acer did. That's another Acer that I have over here where I pulled the RAM out of it. That Acer here got to a point and then switched itself off. Right. Anyhow, we've got to install Grub Bootloader. Well, I'm going to install other Grub in a bit because I've got dinner to do. But seems that this new installation is the only operating system on the computer. So, yeah. Okay, install it to the primary drive. Yes, we'll do it. And it goes down to dev SDA. That's the internal. It'll install that, which will only take a moment, and then we'll have to reboot. So we'll finish it and then tell us we can now boot in, and please remove our external sort of media. And we potentially could be good for hacking right there and then. So for our ethical hacking and our pen testing. Why have I pulled out 2? Why? I didn't need to. I think we gave this video a very good ramming. We were ramming it home. Hyperstyle. It's really bad, isn't it? Oh, mind you, that's taking a while. But so far, though, I am absolutely impressed with this. I just want to now find... just on the next note, installation is complete, as we said. It's time to boot your new system. Make sure to remove the installation media, which is what we said. Well, we're going to have to do one more thing as well. F2 back into the system and then change boot sequence. So what we'll do is enter that and get ready on the F2 key. So just keep hitting that one completely. As it's gone to that. As it's gone to that, come on. There we are. So boot sequence straight down to here. Now we're going to change this back to that one, internal hard drive. And we should. Oh no, you can't F10 this one. That's awkward. You actually have to hit the apply button. Now we can exit that and then pull the flash drive out. So I don't need that now. Let's see what happens. And how much battery do we still have left? A little warm, but okay. We have our Kali Linux, our good tattoo. There it is, the old infamous tattoo. Alright, cool. So we can log in with this, and we're in. 75% remaining. Okay. So it took 25% to install that, which is pretty reasonable, and this is still under an hour. Now what I want to do is find out whether or not the Wi-Fi adapter is actually good enough for what we want. So I'm going to do something like -ng. Alright, I have to run it as root. So, okay, sudo -ng. Not typed that out very well. Sudo -ng. Yeah, okay, it's that. And it shows our adapter. Cool. So sudo -ng stop while I'm not. Okay, right. So you're trying to stop a device that isn't in it. Well, we don't actually need to do that then. So it'll be, is it iwconfig while I'm not down. Let's try that. Oh, right. What have I done here? What have I done here? Is it if? Maybe iwconfig down and then not. Let's try that. Okay. Ifconfig. There's something I'm doing wrong here. And not down. Operation not permitted. Okay, ifconfig down and not. There's something up with this keyboard. Okay, that's fine. Config down. Not. Interesting. Let's try and change the MAC address. So MAC changer. Space. MAC 00 1 2 2 3 3. Maybe the wireless card doesn't like it. Or maybe I haven't got root. Okay, fine. Let's sort of say clear then and try aerodump. Aerodump. Didn't actually. Oh god, that's going to be awkward. Can't see it properly. Aerodump. And not. Oh, It's aero dump ng, isn't it? AIRO DUMP dash ng and then while not. Gosh. Operation not permitted. Okay, right, fine. Sudo AIRO DUMP dash ng space dash while not. It's not in monitor mode. Right, so maybe the internal Wi-Fi card doesn't support it. At least. Packet injection and monitor mode. Unless I've done something wrong there. That's interesting. Okay, so it's Control C and then exit. And I wonder if we can log out. And can we go into sort of root? And can we tour our way in? Oh, it's done that one again. Right, I had to fix that before. Right, I did have to fix that one before. Okay, so I'm going to have problems with that one then. Okay, that's not the machine on this one. That. Yeah, okay. Alright, fine. So it won't let me log in as a root user. So I have to fix that, and we'll do that one in another video. But you see how smooth it is running. Let's try again. Airmon dash ng. It's sudo, isn't it? Sudo airmon dash ng stop. And then not. Okay. It'll ask for the password, so you put that. Okay. Right. Sudo iwconfig while not down. No, what have I done here? Is it ifconfig? Shouldn't be doing that. Ah, maybe now we've got somewhere. Right, now Mac sudo Mac changer space dash dash Mac 00 22334455 no. Yes, it's worked. Okay, good enough. So it actually does seem to work then. Now it's sudo airmon dash ng start while I'm not. Okay, so it's telling us to check kill. Well, what is it? Check kill. Alright, sudo airmon dash ng check dash kill. No, sorry, check kill. It's killed that, and now sudo airmon dash ng start done it, it's already enabled. Right, so now sudo arrow done -ng or not. And yes, it supports it. There you go. So yes, out the box, the Latitude E7440 supports at least wireless monitoring mode and a lot of the other hacking requirements we want for Wi-Fi. There is something else that we need to do. Okay, so we can cancel that one and then say clear. And now we need to run apt-get update and hit enter. Right, of course we need sudo for it, so it'll be sudo space apt get update. And it should do this for us. Give it a moment. And bearing in mind, we still have 71% of our battery left as well. 2 hours it proclaims, and 35 minutes on full load. Well, I think we're going to be well alright. The internet connection here isn't exactly brilliant, but okay. We probably ought to do a system restart actually before running this. Probably. Okay. Failure to fetch. Temporary resolving. Okay. Right. So I probably need to go in as root then. Okay. Let's try it one more time. In fact, let's say shut down now. Let's leave this video here because it's over an hour long. But you get the idea. So for 40 quid, it was an absolute steal. And I still have 71% battery left. Yeah, I think that's a keeper. Right, well, I hope you enjoyed that one, even if it is a little long. I think that was the right result. So, yeah, it's got potential. Very much so. And I'm going to figure this one out, and then we'll get back to you. Alright, but yeah, if you find a Dell sort of Latitude E7440, they do seem reasonable. Just upgrade it to 16 gig. And you'll be well away, basically, and know what you're doing. Till the next time, love you lots, and as always, keep balling. See you in the next one. Catch you.